Okay, let's unpack this. If you are a product developer, maybe a technical designer, or, maybe you're just trying to figure out why one pair of shorts cost way more than another, like sometimes double. You're hitting that core challenge for every brand, right?
Absolutely. How do you make something basically simple like a pair of shorts feel high-end?
Exactly. Without messing up the basic shape or function.
And yeah, the answer is rarely about big, obvious design changes. It's almost always in the little things, the construction, the finishes, hidden in plain sight, really.
That's precisely what our sources are digging into this week. We've got this really fascinating set of technical design documents that kind of pull back the curtain on how changing just one tiny thing, the bottom hem finish on shorts, doesn't just tweak durability.
It completely changes the whole vibe, doesn't it? The aesthetic, the brand message, even what people think it's worth.
Totally. So we're looking at three specific short styles. We see them go from a really efficient, low-cost finish up to something, well, pretty complex and detailed.
Right. And the sources use the star scale, which is kind of helpful. 2 stars is your basic, efficient, entry-level thing. Good for budget lines. 5 stars, that's the top-tier complex, lots of hidden detail, premium feel.
And our mission here is to explore how these tiny technical choices actually communicate value, how they speak that, silent language of quality to people who really care about details.
Let's dive in.
So let's start with the philosophy of the finish, because it feels like there's more going on here than just picking a stitch.
Oh, absolutely. It's strategic. The sources frame it like this. Choosing a seam isn't just about production, it's a brand positioning tool.
A brand positioning tool. How so?
Well, it tells your customer who you are. Are you all about speed and volume? Or are you about intricate details, maybe hidden luxury, even if it costs a bit more? It's like the brand's personality woven right in.
The seam is strategy. I like that. Okay, the elephant in the room. Fancy seams cost more, right? Time, labor, materials.
That's the trade-off, always. The sources are clear. Every extra detail, every bit of special tape inside, it adds cost. No way around it.
So how do you make that work?
The goal is to turn that cost into a story, a narrative. The detail itself becomes the reason for the premium price. You're selling that craftsmanship, that hidden thought.
Okay, let's see it in action. First up, the curve sprint. This is that retro athletic short, very 70s, with the curved dolphin side panel. You see it for workouts, but also just out and about.
Yeah, a classic. And it really shows how different construction leads to different market spots.
So the basic version, the 2-star performance heritage finish, how simple are we talking? Is it really just about speed?
Pretty much. For that classic look, it's often just one operation. A tape wraps the raw edge, closes the hem, done.
Quick and dirty almost.
Well, clean, lightweight, durable enough, perfect for entry-level price points. It's that familiar retro look. Cheap and cheerful, you could say.
Right. Now, jump to the 4-star high contrast finish. What's the big change there, structurally?
Okay, here you add another piece. The tape isn't just closing the edge, it's acting like a frame. And then there's an external band, usually in a contrast color, sewn in 1 or maybe 2 extra steps.
So you see that sharp parallel line on the outside.
It looks engineered, more deliberate. That's your performance luxury signal right there, visible quality.
But then the 5-star version, the contrast reveal, it sounds less flashy than the 4-star. The contrast is hidden.
It is, and that's the point. Kind of like high-end tailoring, the contrast band is completely on the inside. Looks simple from the outside.
Until you move.
Right. Then you get that flash of color. The sources call it a refined wink, like the short has a hidden pulse. It's subtle.
A hidden pulse.
Yeah.
I like that. But if it's hidden, how do you make sure the customer knows they're paying for something special? Seems tricky.
Yeah, that definitely ties into how you sell it, how you display it. We can touch on that later. But functionally, it speaks to the wearer first. And there's a key practical point here, too. The pro tip is use soft materials for that inner band in the tape. You don't want scratchy stuff inside, especially for workouts with lots of friction. So 5 stars isn't just looking fancy. It's hidden design plus comfort.
Okay, so hidden design, functional comfort.
Yeah.
The best details aren't always the loudest. Makes sense.
Speaking of subtle function, let's look at case study 2, the lounge runner. Think relaxed, simple 90s jogger shorts, Slanted pockets, all about comfort, really versatile.
Right, the comfy ones. So
Yeah.
the basic two-star finish here is the cover stitch, the speed finisher. Break that down for us. How's that put together?
Super simple, super fast. It's just a folded hem, maybe 2 centimeters, stitched in one go with a cover stitch machine, usually 2 needle, 4 thread. It's the workhorse finish for knits.
Why cover stitch specifically?
It has natural stretch built into the stitch itself, so it moves with the fabric. Ideal for agility, ideal for keeping costs down.
Gotcha. Now, the sources had a specific QC tip here about testing the stretch. Something about 85%.
Ah, yes. That's important for knits. You stretch the seam. They say test it to 85% of the fabric's max stretch. If the threads pop,
Problem.
big problem. It means the seam's too tight, probably stretched during sewing. The fix is usually adjusting the differential feed on the machine.
Differential feed.
Uh-huh.
What does it actually do for someone not running the machine?
Good question. It controls how the machine feeds the layers of fabric through. You can adjust it so the fabric isn't stretched as it's sewn or even slightly compressed. It stops the seam from being brittle and lets it stretch properly later. Or you might switch to a textured thread that has more give.
Okay, makes sense. It's about building in stretch without stress.
Yeah.
Now, the 4-star upgrade, bias clean, or hidden luxury. This uses a hidden bias tape inside instead of the cover stitch. Why bother hiding it?
Purely for the inside look and feel, it creates this really clean, spotless interior. It just signals quality, care, even if only the wearer knows it's there.
What is it just looks?
Ah, well, here's the kicker. The sources actually measured this, that hidden bias finish. It gave a plus 13% boost in seam durability compared to the standard cover stitch.
Wait, seriously? 13% stronger just from that hidden tape. How?
Yeah, it seems it acts like a reinforcement. You're enclosing the raw edge and adding a second layer, like an internal stabilizer along the fold. The cover stitch just relies on the thread and fabric stretch. This adds structure.
Wow. Okay, so that hidden detail is actually adding real measurable performance.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It really is. It bumps the product into a different category based on something quantifiable.
Okay, so what about 5 stars, the accent branding? What happens there?
This takes that same strong hidden bias binding, but lets it peek out just a tiny bit, maybe 1 or 2 millimeters past the hemline.
Ah, so just a sliver of contrast.
Exactly, but that tiny visible edge, that fine line, that's what takes it from nice shorts for home to everyday luxury you can wear out. It just elevates the whole thing.
And I bet there's a business advantage there too.
Huge. Think about seasonal updates. You can introduce new colors or prints just by changing the trim. You don't need to change the main fabric orders or patterns.
That's smart. Efficiency disguised as a fashion detail.
Totally. Minimum change, maximum visual refresh.
All right, final case study. The tabby tailor roll. This sounds like a mix of tailored chino features, like a structured waistband, belt loops, but with a rolled hem like old jeans.
Exactly. It's a hybrid, trying to be a bit formal, a bit rugged, day to night kind of thing.
That sounds like it would be tricky to get right.
Very. And because it's bridging those styles, the quality control gets super strict. The sources really emphasize this.
How strict are we talking? Parallel rolls, twist tolerance.
Like, really precise. The hem roll needs to be perfectly parallel, and after washing, it can't twist more than plus or minus 3 millimeters.
Why so fussy?
It ensures it looks intentional, crisp, not just sloppy and accidentally rolled up, especially after you've worn and washed it a few times. It maintains that tailored feel.
Okay. And the basic 2-star heritage roll-up, that must cut some corners.
It has to. For cost, it's simpler. Fold the hem twice, maybe 12 millimeters, then just short bar tacks at the seams to hold the roll roughly in place. Quick press, quick stitch, done.
Functional, but maybe not perfectly crisp.
Right. But then the 5-star version, the secret strength finish, this sounds different. It adds a second fabric layer inside the hem.
Yes.
That's the big move. It creates this hidden contrast fancy. That extra layer instantly makes it feel more premium, more substantial, without changing the overall shape.
And does that hidden layer show?
Only subtly. Like when you sit down or cross your legs, you might get a peek of that inner fabric. It's another one of those refined hidden details, a surprise for the wearer.
And let me guess, there's a functional bonus too.
You got it. That rolled finish, now with 2 layers, it acts as double reinforcement right at the edge. The sources clocked it as increasing abrasion resistance by 20%.
20%. That's huge, especially if you're positioning these as like adventure shorts or something.
Exactly. Perfect for that trekking luxury vibe. And it gives marketing great story fuel. You can use hang tags saying, "Look inside" or "Built tough" to point out that hidden value.
Okay, so three very different shorts, three examples of seams being strategic. Let's pull this together. For the product people listening, what are the big strategic takeaways here? How do you actually use this?
Well, the sources boil it down to three main points. First, brand positioning. If your customer cares about details, about quality, these fancier finishes justify the higher price. They signal craftsmanship. You're talking directly to that discerning buyer.
Makes sense. What else?
Second, inventory and MOQs. Minimum order quantities, right? We touched on this. Using contrast trims for fancy seams means you can add seasonal color or prints without stocking tons of new main fabric.
Right, huge cost saving potentially. You could even use offcuts from other garments.
Absolutely. Great way to link pieces in a collection visually, and it's cost-effective. Operational smarts.
Okay, and the third point.
Retail display strategy. This is critical for those hidden details, the inner contrast, the tabby roll's inner layer. You can't just hope people notice.
You have to show them.
Exactly. Roll the cuff slightly in the store display. Use hang tags. Flip me. Look inside. You actively have to educate the customer about the hidden value they're paying for, because it's designed not to shout.
That's a really interesting point. Build it subtly, but market the subtlety aggressively. So we've seen across these different styles, retro, casual, hybrid, how the finish changes the whole story. And we saw real numbers too.
Yeah, the plus 13% durability on the Lounge Runner, the 20% abrasion resistance on the Tabby Tailor. These aren't just opinions.
It makes you wonder, if you don't do these details just to save cost, what are you actually giving up? Not just in story, but in real performance.
Precisely. The sources wrap it up perfectly, I think. Seams don't just build garments, they reveal your brand's commitment to quality and detail.
And that commitment, that revealed detail, is what seems to justify premium pricing. So maybe the final thought for everyone listening is, what hidden commitments are your own style choices revealing? Or, if you're making products, what are your product choices revealing about durability, elegance, engineering? Something to chew on next time you flip the hem on your shorts.